So hi everyone, again, I'm Eli Papadopoulou. I work for Athena Research Center in Greece, and I'm involved with the early career researcher interest group here in RDA, and very happy for that because I get to know new people every time during the plenaries and talk to them, and learn about everyone's interests and create new collaborations with them and help everyone find their way through RDA as all the other chairs are doing. But for me, basically, what my topic that I'm interested in is community building and researchers engaging with the data management. Hence, I'm also involved with Marta, who is here with us today. I'm involved with the RDA Engaging Researchers with Data Management group. So yes, that's for me. Thank you.
And I'm Devin Ray Donaldson. I'm an assistant professor in the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing, and Engineering at Indiana University, Bloomington in the United States. I am a co-chair of the ECEIG, and I'm really interested and care about people that are newcomers to RDA and or early career researchers being able to find their way and find sort of what interest groups and working groups are relevant to their research interests, and also how they can utilize this particular interest group to help them find collaborators, to help them fine-tune their own research ideas, and really help them utilize RDA in a way that can help advance their careers and help advance their projects, because I think there's an enormous opportunity for those types of gains to be had by early career researchers that participate in RDA and utilize our interest group as a resource.
Right, so then it's me. So my name is Fotis Psamopoulos. I am a PI at the Institute of Applied Biosciences in Thessaloniki, in Greece. I don't think I have to add something significantly further than Eli or Devon in this. So my reason for getting involved to this group in the first place was, as a newcomer, I was a bit lost when I first joined RDA, how it works, where to go, who to talk to, why all these sessions happening at the same time. And even now in this virtual form, you can see that there are several different sessions coming all over the place, different times of the day, different topics, all of them interesting. And imagine all of them happening at the same time, like in parallel sessions across 2 days. So in order to help that, plus give the opportunity for people to have a voice and to try to encourage them and empower them to give more of their own ideas to RDA, we put this group together. And hopefully you're going to learn a bit more in the next hour or so. So,
Fotis, we can see your presenter view on top of the slides. It's covering half the slides, at least for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is useful to know.
All right.
Now it should be fine.
Can I quickly say something that we are recording this session, so if you don't want people to see you in terms of privacy, if you have any privacy issues, please let us know so that we stop recording.
And
right.
Also make sure that you go to the chat area and click the link so that you can sign in, so that we can keep track of who is attending this session.
All right. Another point to highlight is that because this is an RDA session, it falls under the code of conduct of RDA. So there is a link to that, I think in the minutes, but I cannot open them right now. But what it says is simply to be nice, play nice, don't make other people uncomfortable, and If you feel at some point that this is happening, you should let us know immediately. If any one of us three makes you uncomfortable or does something appropriate, you should let the tab members know about it. And I know that there are at least 2 people here on the call that could be able to help with that, if need be. That being Stephanie and Timea. So with that, I think we can officially start the session. We already done the welcome and introduction part. So I'm going to move to the next point of the agenda. So the whole idea for we're going to have 2 identical sessions from this for this group. The one is now, and the other one is, I think, 10 hours from now. It's 10 hours from now. So whatever time is it now, plus 10. And the idea is to try to accommodate as many different time zones as possible. And it's going to be the exact same thing twice. So if you really enjoy the session once, you can always have a second pass at it 10 hours from now. The first thing that we're going to do is to do a short introduction of what we are doing, what are the main objectives, and how we're trying to put them forward. We are going to focus a lot on the mentoring program, and there Ellie, who's doing an excellent job in actually managing that, will try to give a more in detail description. We always have sufficient time for you, the participants, to give your own, let's say, introduction. The introduction usually during an actual plenary is we invite people to come on the stage and give a quick introduction to themselves with or without slides. It's completely up to you. The idea is basically to exchange ideas and make people know about you, hear about what you're doing, and possibly us getting some more feedback on what we can do more within this group to support your interactions within RDA. So that's the other part. And in closing, what we're going to do is to focus a bit on the activities that we're doing right now, invite people to join them actively in whatever capacity or whatever form they feel they can do that. And then we can sort of close. So that's the agenda for today. So that was the come in, please. So about the group and the objectives. So the purpose of the group is basically to focus, as the name says, on the early career researchers and professionals. And the key point for me here is the early career part, because RDA is not necessarily for academia. It's definitely not only for academia. So anyone coming from any background at any point that they feel they self-identify as early career, which means that they may be giving a completely random number, 40 years old, and they are changing their track from one department to industry, or from industry to starting their own company, or anything in between, and they self-identify as early careers. This is a place for them. So the support that we were aiming for is basically a networking thing. Networking can take different forms. It can take the form of the traditional networking that happens during the conference or any other plenary, where people sort of talk to each other and learn about their activities. But also it's a network in the sense that we provide the framework through which you can communicate by different means. So we provide the mentoring system, we provide the Ask Me Anything calls, we have a Slack channel for people, a Slack group for people to actually talk to and coordinate with each other. So we give the platform for this networking to happen. Plus a social event that we try to do every plenary. I'm not really sure how we can do that in this one, but we maybe will have a virtual social event. I have no idea how this will work. So that's the point, the main point. As a direct connection to that, it's also the mentoring from the senior RDA members. So this is basically us inviting people like Marta, who is already on the call, and asking them to give their own insights and their experience and share their experience to people who are newcomers or early careers or both, in how to sort of navigate this thing, or if they want to have some insights on how things might work in particular fields that they have an expertise in. So this is like the second main point. So if you look at the case document of the group, we have basically 5 main objectives. I highlight 2 and 4 because they are the more practical ones, if you like. But these are the 5 points that we're aiming for. So the first one is, as I said, focus on early careers. I'm not going to more detail on that. The second one is to establish a volunteer-based mentoring program, and we'll come back to that in a second. The third is network across domains. So this is another key point that we believe it's one of the major strengths of RDA, because it's not discipline specific. It actually encourages people from various different disciplines to come together and sort of interact, which at some points feels a bit disjoint. It's true, but there are very, very many cases where having this sort of interdisciplinary discussions, some very interesting ideas come forward. So one of the major objectives, as you can see, of this group is to actually ensure that this happens, that ideas that come from one field can be disseminated, can be heard across other domains. And if it's something useful, that is excellent. If not, then you have one extra thing you heard about in a given day. The fourth point is to have a space for people to sort of pass on knowledge. So the passing on of knowledge is basically a repository of document-like things where anything that we discuss so far, ideas, processes, even how things work in RDA are kept down. So people can go back to them, refer to them, even enrich them if they have something new to add. And we use this as through a GitHub repository with a lot of markdown documents that you can go through. And finally, because it's true that alcohol always helps in this context, as I said, we try to have a social aspect of this event, of this group, at least during the formal plenary sessions, which means that we go out and try to relax while have these discussions, because
you can drink water or juice if you want to. You don't have to.
Yes, yeah. The alcohol part is basically me talking here. All right, so this is, if you go back to the fourth objective, as I said, we have this major channels of communication. The one is the GitHub repository, as I mentioned earlier. All those links are also available on the minutes. So if you scroll down below the sign-in parts, there's some useful links, and this repository is linked there as well. So this is basically a repository where we maintain our minutes of discussions that happened so far, documents that have been produced, and it's open to anyone who wants to provide some feedback to it. And actually, because it's through GitHub, any new contribution we might make, it's actually visible and will remain there as part of the whole repository. The second one is a more direct live communication approach. We create a dedicated Slack group. It's been around now for, I think, at least 2 years. And the idea is to exchange information, notify people of events that are happening, ideally create ad hoc groups when a particular topic is in discussion, and so forth. So the objective 5, the social event, I only want to show you sort of the pictures that Devon always takes when we get there. So there are some very interesting pictures, you can see it later. Our first social event was in Montreal. I think that was B12, if I'm not mistaken. So that was 2 years ago. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, the idea is to sort of, again, not sure how we are going to do that, but we will try to do something about this as well.
Yeah, what normally happens at a plenary is we try to find somewhere that's close by that is relatively easy for people to get to. We can even like sort of organize at this particular time, at this particular place, meet us, and then we'll walk over there together, or organize a carpool or Ubers or whatever to get to a place, just so that we can, you know, just more informally socialize, more informally talk about, you know, things that are of interest to other career researchers. So we normally always are able to find somewhere. But we're doing this virtually, so we can't quite do it the same way we would have under more normal circumstances.
Sorry. That is true. But again, as I said, we will try, if possible, to do a virtual social event somehow.
Virtual dance party? No.
Okay, I will have my screen closed then. Last point, and then I'll pass the floor on to Ellie. So going forward, what we try to focus on is, these are the objectives that we have. So we have some approaches that we sort of cater to them. But what we always need to know and to learn from you is what could we do better. The better part could be what would be an additional approach that we can take into consideration to help you get more information, got more feedback, more connection to other people, how to engage with particular communities, either within the RDA or outside. And these are communities that continue to evolve. So something that may be relevant 5 years ago may be irrelevant now, or is something really coming up now and it's worth sort of engaging. Ensure that all the best practices, all the methods of communication we're trying align with best practices, and at least we try to document them to the best of our abilities. And finally, essentially, how to support the Early Career Fellowship Program. This is a program, a formal program that happens, I think, both within RDA Europe and RDA US. And it's to support early careers to join planning events and learn more about this. So these are sort of the ongoing efforts that we are trying to achieve through this group, but of course we're always open to any suggestions. And with that, the floor is to Ellie.
All right, thanks for this. Let me share my screen and see if you can all see my screen. Do you see my screen? Yes, perfect. All right, so as Foris mentioned the goals and the objectives of our group, and I'm going to be talking about the mentoring program. So in order to meet all these goals that we've set, we have different activities that we are performing, and all in some extent focus on this mentoring program. Either directly, they are directly related to that, or they complete it in some ways. So just to say a few things, the audience of this group, there are two audiences in this group. We have the mentors and the mentees. So we have the early career researchers, which in this mentoring program are the mentees. And these are people that would like to better understand the different networks and how to get involved within or outside RDA. They want to get support in specific areas of their research and they want to know better how to communicate their research to others, or get more experience on specific topics around research data. And on the other hand, we have the mentors, which are the more experienced researchers and professionals that they have expertise on research data and on discipline-specific, other discipline-specific research areas. They're well connected with other networks and have collaborations inside and outside RDA, and they are willing to support early career researchers through this mentoring program. And what this means, you can see it on the next slide. You can find it under the guidelines of our mentoring program. So we have guidelines for mentors and mentees. For mentors, what this means, being a member of our group as a mentor, means that they attend our sessions during the plenaries, during the RDA plenaries. And this is one of them, the virtual one. And hope we have enough people. Is anyone here as a mentor? Apart from Marta, can you write in the chat? I don't see the chat though. All right. And And then apart from joining the RDA plenaries, join discussions and engage with discussions with our group members through Slack. And also another way that they can get involved is present through presentations of their work during AMAs. AMAs are Ask Me Anything meetings, whatever you want to call them. There are teleconferences organized in a monthly basis, and hope you can hear me well because it says that my internet connection is unstable. But they're organized in the monthly meetings, and they are basically, most of the times they are specific oriented, subject oriented. So we select a subject for around data management or data science in general, and we go through particular areas of that subject, and we also try to make the link to other networks and the specific activities that the early career researchers could contribute and could get involved in. Just to say that this is just a checklist, so mentors are not required to follow all of them, just check and select whatever works for them on the at a given time. And they are asked to respond promptly to questions that come from the early career researchers. These questions vary. They may be relevant to their area of expertise, or they may be relevant to RDA in general, or to other questions or inquiries that an early career researcher might have. And the last one is a bit tricky and it's more rare, but based on availability and on the mutual availability and willingness to have virtual meetings, they can go on have more one-to-one meetings with early career researchers. And moving on to the guidelines, as a mentee, what is expected through this mentoring program is that, of course, attend the early career engagement sessions during RDAs, similarly to attend the Ask Me Anything meetings and ask questions, because these are actually organized for you, for the early career researchers. Join discussions in the Slack. And just to say that we suggest during this, when you ask questions, we suggest that you do it as detailed as possible, so that we better understand the needs and how and who can address it. So we better direct you to the person responsible. And we also encourage you to promote your work and your interests, and of course be an active member of the early career engagement group. And you can see later how you can get involved with that, what that means. Here we have an overview of our network. And you can see this is a 6-month-old, but you can see where our mentors are based. We have some people that are in Europe, we have some people that are in the US, but we don't have people from Australia. So if you are interested, please follow up through emails or write it in the chat or in the minutes. We would like to expand our mentors network and better support other regions of RDA as well. And just indicatively here, there's a list for you to see what are the mentors that we include in our network. So these are people that are coming from publishing venues like IEEE. There are people that come from research institutions and universities. There are people that are more discipline oriented, so they can help you with issues on specific disciplines. People that can guide you through data management and support the data management activities in a more horizontal way, in more generic questions. And people that are more technical, have more technical expertise. So we cover that perspective as well, the technical perspective. And this is indicative, so we are more than that. but just to get a glimpse of what's happening.
And all of these people know people. So if they don't know the answer to your question, there's a high probability that they know someone else and might be able to refer you. So they have we're able to leverage their network and incorporate that into the mentor network. So we've seen that happen as well, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Devon. All right, so about the activities that are relate to this mentoring program, we have divided them to task forces, and this is how you can get engaged. These are the task forces and how you can get engaged. So there are 3 at the moment. One, as I already mentioned, is the Ask Me Anything calls or AMA calls. These follow a predefined workflow. We have that already in place, so you can follow that in order to help us with the organization of the AMAs. You can help with finding mentors or further expanding our mentees network, which we are currently also trying to visualize and combine them so that you get a better view of our audiences in our group. And of course, spread the word to other people, to your institutions, and to other networks that you might be involved in. Second task force is about the newsletter. Maybe Fotis has something to add here, as he was very interested in leading that. What that means in this task force is that we collect information coming from different venues, and those information relate at some extent to early career researchers' interests, so maybe jobs, maybe research trends, or maybe opportunities for early career researchers, like funding opportunities. And we use a publishing platform like Paperly, where we disseminate we make it available through that, and we also disseminate it as a newsletter through our mailing list. The third task force is, we consider that being merged with the first one, the Ask Me Anything calls. This relates to teleconferences that are more on the operational side of how you conduct research, or how you communicate better, how you communicate it. So we give advice to how you can structure a poster, or you can, or how to better develop your arguments. Maybe when you have a presentation, maybe Devon wants to add something since he wants to read that.
Yeah, and also if you have a presentation that's upcoming and you'd like an opportunity to do a dry run or to practice it before you have to do it more formally, we'd be willing to listen to you. You know, even if we're not in your domain, we can just have a listening ear to say, you know, we're able to follow that logic, or this wasn't clear, or to see if some graphic that you have that you're thinking is conveying this particular information might not be as effective as you think. We are here. There can be a lot of value in practicing something before you really have to roll that out. So we're hoping that the people that are on this call that are interested in being a part of the ECEIG realize that you could utilize this IG in that regard if it would be helpful to you.
Great. What did I do now? Oops, I did something. All right. So regarding the mentoring, the calls, the Ask Me Anything calls, we organize them every third Wednesday of the month. So we kindly ask you to just attend and see if it works for you, and let us know how you could get involved, maybe for a presentation or helping with the organization. Our next mentoring session is on May 20th, and this is the link that you can follow to get connected. But we will also send invitations to our emailing list. When I say emailing list, I mean if you are a member of our group in RDA, then you get our emails through that emailing list. And this is us during one of those calls, one of the, maybe the first one actually. I don't remember, guys. Was it the first one? I think
it was definitely one of the first ones.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first ones. So this is us in action and talking about interesting things and, you know, having fun. The AMAs so far have touched upon several issues. So we had general discussions around research data. We had more specific presentations and discussions about text mining, or about open research software development, machine learning, reproducibility, data management, archiving for software, and so the list goes on. If you want to find more information or have a look at the minutes of what was presented and yes, about the discussion, you can find out more here. We will send you these slides through an email later today, but we will also upload them in our GitHub repository, so you can see them from there. And now my favorite part. So we would like to know you. The floor is please stop sharing my screen. Please let us know who you are. And here. And yes, we would love to hear more about you. And see, please say if you are a mentor or a mentee in this network already, or if it's your first time as well, and your research interests.
And you can share your video as you're talking as well, as we are, the co-chairs are.
Marta, would you like to give a short introduction of you as the mentor here?
Of course, happy to do that.
Thank you.
My name is Marta de Berg and I'm from Technical University of Delft in the Netherlands. And I'm very happy to be one of the mentors of the group, although sometimes I also feel like a mentee because I constantly learn from you. So I hope we can be just maybe, you know, a group of people supporting each other. My background is, I did my research in biology, developmental biology, a bit of genomics, so in life sciences where data sharing was the normality. And then I got professionally involved in providing research data management support. So I was running the data management support at the University of Cambridge, and now I have moved to Technical University of Delft, where I'm coordinating a team of data stewards who are directly involved in providing researchers with disciplinary support. So while now I'm currently not doing any more research, so don't have that professional expertise, I have lots of connections to other people or experts or even our data stewards with technical background, so research background, and lots of expertise in data management. So whenever you have a question, I would be more than happy and delighted to try to help you. And myself, I would be also happy to get your advice, guys, on presentation skills. So if that's something available to mentors as well, that would be super nice to try out.
Sure, because I think that early career researchers could learn from, you know, how you decide to present things and also offer feedback. So yeah, we can definitely have this symbiotic, you know, relationship.
Nice.
Guess we can continue to call on people.
Thanks, Marta. So someone else?
I can make the start here. So hi, my name is Biernacka. I'm from Poland, but I live in Germany. I'm from the Humboldt University in Berlin. I'm a computer scientist doing my PhD at the moment, but more in a combination of computer science and information science about the publication of research data with the focus on the conflict with legal regulations. So I'm looking at different countries, or 4 different countries specifically, and 3 different disciplines, which is medicine, learning analytics, and climate impact research in Germany, Peru, India, and China. So I'm new to this group, but I guess I will be more a mentee. But I do give a lot of workshops for researchers as well. So at one point I could be the mentor as well, I guess.
Excellent. We're happy you're here.
Thank you.
I see that there is someone on the chat who wants to talk, but he cannot unmute.
The host can try to unmute them. So Ellie, that might be you.
Yeah, like if you hover over their square.
If you go to the participants list and then
did it work?
Name, no.
I did something.
So you, yeah, try.
Hi,
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry, my video is off, but because I have a terrible network. So hi, I'm Deepthi, and I'm from India, but I'm living in Germany. And I was, I studied bioinformatics in Germany, and then I moved to Luxembourg to work on multiomics pipeline. And I was working on integration of different kinds of multiomics data and trying to make these pipelines work on high performance computing cluster. So mostly working on making them reproducible and modular. And recently I moved to Heidelberg, at the University of Heidelberg, again in Germany. So now I'm working as a research data manager for Heidelberg Pain Consortium. And now I'm mostly dealing with the different, trying to be, I'm working on different stages of data life cycle with experts from computing centers. So for example, for the neuroscience domain, I'm trying to adopt international data standards, for example, like Neurodata Without Borders, and also working on data management plans. So creating data management plans for specific project requirements, but mostly for the neuroscience domain because it's Heidelberg Pain Consortium. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to connect with more people here. And this is not my first RDA working group or the session I've joined. I've joined some other sessions too, but very recently. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you.
And also I have to say, it's awesome to see a fellow bioinformatician on the line. So yay for bioinformatics.
Yes, absolutely. And also other thing I would like to say, for example, in bioinformatics domain, we already have lots of data standards and training materials, which is kind of well-defined. And we have been already using lots of platforms and containers like Docker and Conda. But recently when I shifted to neuroscience, I realized there is much more requirement for international data standards, or let's say standardized metadata or data standards to be followed. So yeah, so this is a bit challenging, but it's really exciting.
Yeah, I completely agree that and echo that. All right. I see also that Stephanie would like to introduce herself. So Stephanie.
Yep, thanks, Fotis. Let's see if the video works. There we go. Okay, so my name is Stephanie Ketas. I've done the opposite to everyone else. I'm German, but I've moved to Australia. So I've been here for nearly 20 years now. I used to also, I'm also a computer scientist with a PhD in computer science, but more towards information science, information systems actually. I did work about how people work together and what works and what doesn't. So that was my research. But I've been working for the Australian Research Data Commons for over 10 years now. And I've also been involved in RDA since 2012, before the launch. So while I don't have a lot to offer in terms of research data management or anything like that. Even though I work for ARDC, I don't really do much in that. If you need anyone to help you with navigating RDA or finding out how RDA works, I'm happy to help. So I can, if that's any topic of anyone's interest, I'm happy to answer questions. Thank you.
I think that's great and really needed, especially for some of the newest ECEIG members that are like, well, what additional IGs or WGs should I be a part of, given my interest? You can help them to think through that. So thanks for being on the call with us today.
Yeah, and I can also, I mean, as I said, I don't know everything, but I work quite closely with TAB and some of the other governance bodies. So if I don't know, I can find out normally.
Awesome, thanks.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, very good. So my name is Sándor Brockhaus, and actually I'm from the European XFAL from Hamburg, Germany. And here we are performing lots of experiments from all kinds of different domains of chemistry, physics, biology, and others. We are collecting huge amount of data, and we try to manage this data in a fair way. And we try to engage our researchers to do it and actually be partner in analyzing the data and then storing and offering the data then for future reuse and following the fair practices. So the reason why I just joined this interest group, or actually at least this session today, is because I wanted to learn what the ideas are around and what works, what doesn't work, what are your experiences. Indeed, your mentor-mentee program, that sounds really interesting. Maybe this is something which we can also put in place. I don't know yet, but thanks anyway.
Thank you very much. Nice to have you. Welcome.
We encourage you to sign up on, I guess, from the RDA page, our ECEIG page, so that you can be included on the listserv, you know, for our future communications.
Yes, hello, Irena speaking. So I'm Irena Vipavc-Brvar from Slovenian Social Science Data Archives. I'm also leading a CESDA training working group, and CESDA stands for Consortium of European Social Science Data Archives. I try to not get too engaged these days because I have my email already fully booked with things. But yes, it's interesting to be here today, and I'll try to follow. And also, yes, if there are some questions related to data archiving, yeah, I'm okay to help. So if some emails come in, I see Ricarda is also on the list from Dance, so I think she can manage most of them, but I'll try to follow what you do, guys. I see it's good coming, so thanks.
The more the merrier, so we're glad.
Thank you very much.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me open my my camera. Okay, hi. My name is Brivans Nikolos. It's a difficult Greek name. You can call me Nicholas if you want. I'm coming from computer engineering school. Now I am working at the Institute of Applied Biosciences, and I have just started my PhD in computational biology and bioinformatics. This is my first time here in an RDA session. I am studying machine learning algorithms and other computational techniques and their applications on bioinformatics. I'm really interested in creating models that describe data and producing new knowledge from them. It is really helpful when there are some standards and some disciplines and workflows to follow, because I can organize better my my data and understand better the questions that I would like to answer. But sometimes the more data I have, the more difficulties to organize them. So my point here is that data management plays a vital role for understanding the questions that I'm dealing with and the problems that I would like to solve. I'm really happy to be here, and thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Welcome, and hopefully this is this is the group for you, but hopefully we can help you more into the specific topics that you would like us that you would like to tackle within your PhD research.
I'll try to.
Hi.
Oh. That would be me trying to speak. Hello. Oh, I didn't realize I have the background. That looks interesting.
Okay, you're already traveling. Cool.
I wish I were. So hello, everybody. My name is Tima Bairo. I work for the Digital Repository of Ireland. Like Stephanie, I've been involved in the RDA in different forms since its beginning, actually under the European branch of the RDA, the European project. There I follow a couple of actually 3 of the programs that we have, one supporting early careers, one supporting experts, and another one supporting disciplinary ambassadors. A few of the people that are present here, I think, are early careers and experts, if I'm not wrong, if I recognize well the names. Yeah, it's been a very interesting experience to work with all different sort of categories of RDA members across the years. At the same time, I'm myself an early career. I just started not actually just I'm in my first year. It feels like just, but a long time has passed. I've just started a PhD on science communication. So I have, just like everybody else, a couple of hats, but I'm very interested in engaging with other people and seeing their perspectives and learning from everybody. So hello.
Thanks, Timea. It's great to have you here. And yeah.
Timea, where are you doing that at? Where's the PhD?
UCD, so University College Dublin. It's the School of Information and Communication Studies.
Oh, great. Congratulations.
So, yeah. Stephanie's telling me. So there's an example of things that you shouldn't do in terms of science communication, not mention your BOF. So yeah, I'm organizing a BOF tomorrow. It should be 4 o'clock UTC. So if you are interested in joining that, yeah, the link is for registering is on the virtual plenary program. So yeah, please do join. Thanks, Stephanie.
Okay, that's something to check out then.
Oh.
All right, someone else?
There's another brave soul.
You can also type in the chat if you want, if you prefer it this way. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? I'm Sven from Forschungszentrum Jülich, Germany. I work for administration, and I'm following various developments concerning research data management in our research center and beyond. Obviously, I work for corporate development in the administration, and I like to listen into this group once in a while. So I'm neither a mentee or a mentor, but I really like to follow your ideas for two reasons. One reason is that in the research center, there is a big reorganization of the early career research support. And I think that in a modern day early career support, there should be mentoring, and especially mentoring on research data management too. And that's why I like to sort of listen in to you a little and to sort of forward your ideas to the people who are currently reorganizing the early career support in the research center. And also I am hosting several interest groups in the research center, for example, on research data management also. So there are more senior experts, and I sort of keep advertising your activities to them, because I think these people might be good mentors in your program. Thanks.
Sven, can I ask, in which field are you working? So which discipline?
Well, originally I'm a literary scholar, but today I work in Forschungszentrum Jülich, Germany, which is natural sciences research, various natural sciences from the environmental sciences to brain research and supercomputing. But I'm not working as a researcher there, obviously, because that's not what I was trained in. I'm working for administration for the corporate development unit.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Please continue to be involved and participate. And if you can find us more mentors, that's great.
All right, I think we are 5 minutes before the end of the session. So I'd like to close with some follow-up actions. And the follow-up action I would like to propose is, first of all, if you have an interest in any of the 3 task forces that Ellie mentioned before, and just as a reminder, the first one is for the AMAs that happen every month. Involvement in this task force can take very different aspects. So it can take the aspect of getting involved in actually organizing the AMAs. Participation is something that is definitely encouraged regardless, but also as a speaker. So if you're interested in any of those 3 points, please add your name at the end of the Google document, including what you would be interested in doing that. The second task force is the newsletter thing. Essentially, this is still under discussion one or another. So how to send out relevant information to people. Paperly is only a suggestion, is definitely not the suggestion. So any other ideas that on technical platforms that you have in mind are more than appreciated. And also bear in mind that we are not aiming for another death by newsletter approach. We all have I'm sure that all of us have emails that come in and get deleted as soon as you sort of see them. The idea is to give more like highlights or links or stuff like that. So again, if you're interested in working with that, please write your name there and indicate that. And finally, and this is a really open question, if you have any ideas or any other suggestions on activities or I don't know, actions that we may be able to take with you or on behalf of you or to support you, please feel free to indicate them there. Indication does not imply that you will be involved. Of course, if you are, we are more than happy to have you on board. But at this point, what we're looking for is to have the ideas. What do you think it's already missing? And what could be improved so that we can continue improving our work here. And with that, I will shut up and give the floor to Ellie and Evan for the closing.
No, thanks for this. Just to add that we've created a feedback form So in the feedback form, you can let us know if you want how you felt about the session and what can be improved, but also indicate your interest in the task forces that Fotis just mentioned. Thank you.
And the only thing I'll just add is we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules, whether you be a mentor or a mentee or someone who just came for the first time to learn more about this. We know that everybody's really busy and that nothing about this time is normal given the things that are happening in the world. But we really appreciate the fact that you had an interest in this group. And we really hope that this won't be the last time that we see you. And we hope that you won't be shy or bashful or think, you know, prejudge a question that you may have. There's no question that is too elementary or not appropriate or in the sense of maybe you need to work it out by yourself before you bring it to us. It's really quite the contrary. You can give us some ideas that are kind of half-baked, and because sometimes, you know, when you're thinking about it just by yourself or just with the people that you normally are interacting with, it's hard for you to just kind of think outside of the box. So we really welcome you utilizing this IG as an opportunity to kind of push ideas that you might be stuck with forward. Not necessarily that we have the answer, but we will try to see if we have the answer and try to utilize our respective networks to give you a little bit more perspective and clarity than you might have otherwise. So please don't be afraid to just jump out there and kind of let us know what you need help with or what you would like to use this platform to help you with in your career. And bye. Unless there's some other question or concern that anyone has before we have to wrap up.
Thanks for mentioning that, Marta. I just changed the settings of the feedback form. And all right, yes. I think that was it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
I hope we'll see you all in the sessions.